says that Bolton implied that Marie Yovanonitch's ouster was improper, which more than likely it was. And I'm not really 100% familiar with Elliot Engel, but I just know his name has came up a few times during this impeachment trial. But he sits on the House of Foreign Affairs Committee. He's a Democrat from New York. He revealed on Wednesday that former National Security Advisor John Bolton strongly implied during a September 23 phone call that 45's ouster of the top U.S. diplomat in Ukraine was improper and uncalled for. On that call, Ambassador Bolton suggested to me, unprompted, that the committee look into the recall of Ambassador Marie Yovanonitch. Engel said in a statement referring to the ambassador 145 recalled amid a campaign by his blowers to tarnish her. He strongly implied that something improper had occurred around her removal as our top diplomat in Kyiv. Engel continued, adding that the phone call took place after Bolton left the White House. Engel's disclosure of the phone call, which he says he described to the House's investigative committees last year, appears timed to ramp up pressure on the Senate Republicans debating whether to vote in favor of calling additional witnesses as part of the impeachment trial. 45 wrote on Twitter earlier today that Bolton said nothing about his apparent concerns over 45's dealings with Ukraine, including, as was reported earlier this week, that Bolton's contention in his unpublished book that 45 told him that military aid to Ukraine was conditioned on the country's willingness to announce investigations into 45's political opponents. Ambassador Bolton has made it clear over the last few months that he has more to say on this issue, Engel said, and now that the squatter has called his credibility into question, it's important to set this record straight. The call between Engel and Bolton occurred about 2 weeks after Engel's committee, along with the House Intelligence and Oversight Committees, had begun investigating matters related to Ukraine as part of a formal impeachment inquiry. The investigation was meant to explore 45's and dumbass Giuliani's attempts to manipulate the Ukraine justice system to benefit the squatter's re-election campaign, allegations that later formed the core of the House's charge that 45 abused his power and should be removed from office. Investigators had been inquiring about the matter for months before the formal launch of the probe, which also came on a day before the Intelligence Committee revealed the existence of a whistleblower complaint that supercharged the House's march toward impeachment. 45's Republican blowers questioned the timing of Engel's revelation. Hardly groundbreaking or relevant, said Representative Mark Meadows, a Republican from North Carolina, wrote on Twitter. The more noteworthy item is that this is magically coming out 127 days into this impeachment process on the eve of 45 being acquitted. As Democrats rapidly lose momentum, you can smell their desperation. I don't think that's the case, but, Republicans are going to spin on lies, so, that's how it is.